Hey, so I know you wanted to know some things about um, making content, creating content, organizing your content, um, brainstorming and research and all of that. And I just wanted to share a way that's helped me create, research, brainstorm, publish pieces of content and kind of help me get clarity on um, what I wanted, what I wanted for my brand to, what that look and feel of it is, right? Like it's just basically about creating a vibe, right? So, um, this is also in my Notion app. You know, I've been nerding out for the longest about it, and I think I will continue to because this is probably the best thing I have had to help me really get organized about the things that I want to get done. Um, while there are a lot of things that are just generally based on this calendar right now, there are definitely perfect opportunities for me to just click on a day and say, this is what I'm going to do on this day. But this right here has been the way that I've created like a base foundation for what I want every day of my content to look like across different platforms and also across the pillars of the brand as they relate to one another and as they become relevant for whatever that is. So here, my no day is basically just a brain dump. So, like I was saying, I have some things that were associated with some prompts that Shelly gave me some time ago that I really didn't know what to do with at the time, and I have more of an idea of what I want to do with it, but where it belongs in terms of its relevance to some of the themes that I already have set up on my calendar, I'm not really sure yet. And this is using this calendar is just a really good way, this calendar is a really good way to um, also insert and archive bulk content as I'm creating it, right? So I use this as like a means for um, like buckets, right? Instead of actually using the calendar part. Now, this calendar was already like a template that was created by some other like Notion users somewhere, and it just became a default with that comes along with the app. That once you get into launching and all of that, like you can actually see that on a real calendar. But I am not currently there yet, and also this particular view is more helpful to me than the actual calendar part, because I think I may attach it to a different calendar when I actually am ready to roll out real content. So I have my daily. I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. um, and each day I wanted to associate with a theme. So my Monday theme is motivate Monday, hustle and motivate. Tuesdays, take care. Wednesday is women crush Wednesday, or we crush every day. This is really devoted to women's health, um, Black women's empowerment, inspirational type of things. And you can see just across each one, these are things that I'm actually also doing and relevant to my current life, right? These are things that I'm doing in my day in real life, right? Working out. My Monday's also devoted for like meal planning, meal prepping, looking at food stuff. I may or may not still be using Clubhouse. I don't know. We were not really sure about that yet, but I put that on there because at the time that Clubhouse was like a thing, I was like, oh, that's a really cool way to kind of get like forum based, real live time stuff. Because if I were to really have it like my way and like this was already well oiled machine that could work without me, I would be the one doing live events and just doing it, straight out. And there would be somebody else managing the content and when things get published and adding dates and like making sure it's getting on time, getting done on time and things like that. But, because I'm doing it by myself, this is how I'm managing that. So, being able to just see, okay, this is what my Take Care Tuesday. I don't know why this is on Monday. It's supposed to be on Take Care Tuesday. Themes look like, right? Happy place posts. These are, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, inspirational posts. This is associated with mental health, PTSD, CPT, cognitive processing therapy, self care, self love. So, in each page that is associated with theme, there are different things I'm doing, right? So, like, I'm actually engaging personally in these things every day. Now, like, personally, I don't keep up with absolutely everything, but this is like my groundwork. This is what I continue to refer back to so that if my day gets kind of thrown off and I don't really know what I should be doing because I'm kind of like in a whirlwind of emotion and I'm just feeling stressed out, or, things have kind of gone awry because, life happens, and so these may not take precedence over whatever's actually happening. I can always come back to this and be like, okay, what day is it? What are some things that I need to kind of get refocused on and start working on again? And so, this has been a really great way for me to organize my little compartments for the content that I have. And so then when I am doing my bulk creation, my bulk content creation, where I have other areas that I'm creating content. So these here don't actually have things inside of them yet. But like I said, it's like a bucket. So right now they're empty because they're not really ready for a lot of stuff to go inside them yet. So let's see. Because these are Facebook and Instagram inspirational posts, I may or may not be using this particular page as like a bucket to just hold on to all of the inspirational posts or whatever, because I already have Facebook and Instagram, and those two platforms already have their own archiving mechanisms. And so I think it would be redundant for me to put it here also, unless they were like found from someplace else and I wanted to put it on my Facebook and Instagram. And I just wanted to make sure that, like, if I wanted to access it later and it wasn't already on my Facebook or Instagram, that I could come here and maybe have a database of like images and screenshots that I've, had from my Google or whatever. So I think what may end up happening is that because this is for study notes and audio clips, that this database will be for study notes and audio clips, and then just kind of be like either links to my Google Drive that has my study notes and audio clips in it, so that it's just kind of there when I'm ready to share. Let's see. In this way, my Women Crush Wednesday, We Crush Every Day, there's already a database ready for inserting different pieces of information. Because this is also an inspirational post for Instagram and Facebook, it's pretty much the same thing. Although there may be times where I actually have like a blog post that I want to like include, or a podcast segment that I want to include on a Wednesday, maybe like once a week or once a month or something associated with it, that may then go into a podcast and have its own like, segment or whatever. So I added this in there as like a bucket for archiving ideas for this specific theme for this specific day. If I have an idea for something that I just want to jot down and I'm not really sure where it's going to go yet, but it's like, oh, this will be a really great idea for, this is just a really good podcast idea, or, whatever. I'll put it down on no day, and then at some point during my weekly wrap and kind of organization day and like my reset day, which is usually like Sundays or a Friday where I'm kind of wrapping the week, I can allow myself to like go through here and be like, okay, well, what things are relevant to what themes and what days, and then kind of go from there. So each of these is basically each of those buckets that the next step from here for me would be to take where I actually am creating and dumping my pieces of content and connecting them with these areas, right? So if I have blog posts, I may or may not be writing them here in this app. I'm probably, because blog posts usually come to me as like a journal entry type of form, they're going to be found usually as an audio memo or a memo that I've jotted down in my phone. So what I will end up doing probably also on a particular day, or because I have so much content at this point, is like hiring a virtual assistant to get that information into these buckets, like tag them, or maybe I'll be doing the tagging so that that assistant will be able to like put them where they go. I've had a lot of like backing up to do, which this content calendar is, the thing is, the fact that I'm using it as a calendar, but it's not really a calendar, it's more like an agenda because there are no specific dates associated with it. So it allows me to be a little bit more flexible in figuring out where to dump my content once I've created it. Because like I said, I have a lot of different areas that I create. So I might have graphics that I create where they're just typography type of graphics that I will add to my Instagram. I will use different apps on my phone to create them. I mean, I do a lot of content creation from my phone, and then the next step for me is getting it from my phone to the areas that they need to go so that I can then organize and plan when I want to publish that information. It can seem to get a little overwhelming when the days are going by and I'm constantly capturing and gathering information and researching, and if can seem like a bottleneck if I'm not having vessels for this information to fall into. So as I create, I'm a little bit more mindful of where it's going to go. So I either am able to back up my phone periodically and have it uploaded to my Google Drive, my Google Photos. A lot of things are saved in Google Drive and Google Photos, as well as external hard drives. I try to save a lot of my original information in more than one place. So I save on my computer, I save on an external hard drive, and I save on cloud drives so that it's constantly backed up. And so if my computer takes a shit, I have a hard drive. If my hard drive takes a shit, it's on a cloud, but I also have it on my phone as well. So it's going to always be in more than one place. Granted, there may be times where I might miss some things because maybe, something crashes, my phone crashes or my iPad crashes before I have a chance to back up. So there's some information that does end up getting lost, but it's less, I lose less because, and then I think of it as, okay, well, whatever I lost, then I could either start, I must not have needed it, or there's a new version of that piece of information that I lost that is more important than the piece of information that was lost, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I kind of look at it like that, and it helps me to not feel like I am creating for naught, or, fearful of creating things and losing them because of not having proper means to organize and archive information. So, this is a base foundation, but for each of these pages, so what you'll see here are different pillars and tags associated with each of these themes. And these arrows mean that they're associated with a different database, a larger database, or one that will specify exactly what this page is about, which has been really helpful for me in terms of branding and organizing and creating content as well, so that I don't get lost in the forest of all the content that I have. Because as I have learned to figure out like what exactly my brand is about, I have been able to really hone in on the pillars or the core values of what it's about, and then how am I going to share that with the people around me, um, and who, like these tags here, also allow me to really be focused on who my audience is. Anyone Black, anyone that's a woman, anyone that needs to be empowered, anybody that needs to be inspired. These tags may expand over time because it belongs to a different database. So, search for a page or create a new one in master tags. This is an actual database where I can write all of the words that are associated with the things that are important to me. And if you take a look, this is like every single word that associates with me as a person, right? I got this, I created this from an exercise that I did a few years ago when I took a course through Chris Doe. He has a brand called The Future. And one of the tools that I learned was a philosophy called Ikigai, Ikigai, I think is how you spell that, where it's basically based off of how you align yourself to your life's work. Or Ikigai, I think, is roughly translated as life's work, something like that. And basically the philosophy, the idea is that you're taking three aspects of your life in terms of like your service to people. One is things that you do well. One is like things that you get paid to do. And one is like things that people need from you. And it's situated like a Venn diagram. And so those three circles intersect, and then there's one little space in the middle that if you can find the things that kind of align together, you can find things that align together in such a way that create that one thing in the middle that is your life's work. Now you have things that you do well that you can get paid to do, which, that aligns together. There are things that you can get paid to do that people are looking to pay you for. There are things that you do well that people look to you for, right? And so you can create an alignment for yourself that's like, oh, this is how I can look for jobs in the industry. These are the industries that I can look into, right? And so as I continue to like write those words down that are associated with who I am as a person and like what those are and how people relate to me. Then I was like, oh, okay, well, this makes sense here and this makes sense there. And then what pillars are associated with these words that are associated with me. And that's kind of how these ended up coming together, right? So then as the pillars, so I have a pillar, and each of these pillars overarching, okay, well, what does my worship mean? And so I have a related tag for that. And refine and render, I have related tags for that. I have, these things that are associated with either also those things. But I also have even down to a spending plan, right? So I actually have bank accounts that are associated for each of these areas because, tithing and what I'm actually paying for through each of these pillars, which then allows me to like know where my money is going and is my money going toward the right things and how much of my money is going to things that are not necessarily not necessarily right, but not in alignment with, right? So, there's that. Like you may or may not get as expanded at this as this right away. This actually took some time to do. Also, it happened a little bit more quickly for me because I had it in a few different places. So if you do have bulk content, this will fall into place really easily for you once you understand the core values of your brand. And so you can have a version of this for yourself, and then things kind of just start falling into place. And you're like, oh, this can go here, this can go there. And so then you can go back to your content calendar for which you want your Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays to look. And then things just kind of start coming together like that. So let me know if you want some help like really putting that together, because it literally starts with this. This is what it looks like. Every single page that you see here on this side, every single little everything that you've seen from here, all of these, everything starts from this. And and it's this. Right? And you can just create from here. This is what I want to do with my life. Okay, well, what does that look like? You can create a page from here. You can make it into a page. And so now you have a whole other thing. You can create a table from it and build. Marries. Get married. Right? And then you can open up this page and be like, okay, well, what things do I need to build a house? A foundation, a location, money, right? And all of those things, and it just keeps going and going and going. So, I mean, it starts from just simple thought, and it expands into all of these things, right? And then you can have a dashboard, or you can literally just have the one page and, start from there, really. My content calendar definitely is very much and deeply based on what I want my real day for myself to look like. And because I have a brand that I would like to, in some near future, make money for me and create income and like provide stability and cover my family, it's expanded into this. But even if you wanted something to be simple and you just wanted this for yourself, you could literally just have a content calendar for keeping up with all of your journal entries and all of your recipes for your meal plans and all of the workouts that you've done and all of the study notes that you have and all of the podcast notes that you have. It's really just limitless on what you can do and how you really want it to work out for you. So yeah, if you need any help, if you want more information on any of these small pieces, definitely hit me up and let me know what you think and how I can help you.